So last year, I really wanted to make it a point to get out more and join or create a lot more narrative productions. Some I joined as first and second AC, some was cam op, and then others I DP'd and managed my own. And a common piece of kit on any of these productions that you need is a wireless transmission system. So today I want to talk about the Accsoon CineView Master 4K. What you see behind me is what I have as my latest first AC setup. Pretty basic light stand with a OC 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙 15-inch monitor, which is powered off a V-mount. Coming out of the V-mount battery is actually the new Condor Blue Firefly. These are really helpful to have when rigging a camera, or if you're just in a dark set environment but you need to see different rigging accessories or whatever is going on. I have the DJI Focus Pro system out front, and the handheld unit is held to the stand by the Condor Blue Cine Magic Arm Pro. And on top, of course, is the CineView Master 4K receiver. And the camera, which it's transmitting right now, let me know if you guys want to see a full video on this. Hold on. Yes, this is a 13-inch iPad on a Pixis with the transmitter right there that you can see. It's practical, trust me. When it comes to the design, I very much agree with Armando, where he talks about it basically just looks like a mini Cybertruck. And honestly, it feels just as durable as a Cybertruck. This thing is packed with antennas, and it actually has their new tri-band design, which actually gives you 2.4, 5, and 6 gigahertz frequencies. And this is extremely helpful if you're in an environment or on a set that has a lot of different interference, because all the wireless devices from your cell phones to radios are all interfering with each other, which even if you're relatively close by can cause extra latency, dropouts, and so many different technical issues that you just don't want to waste time on set dealing with. And the nice thing is they're constantly automatically switching between whatever frequency is giving the best, highest quality, and most reliable signal. Now, I feel like there's 3 different use cases that I primarily see for systems like this. You have someone who's just monitoring, like a director's monitor. You have the camera department's use case for like pulling focus as a first AC, and then you have live streaming. Now, the third one I'll touch upon first because that's not my primary area of expertise, and it's not an area in which I use a system like this or really any others. But it is very cool that, one, this is the first transmission system that allows you to have 4K 60 transmissions. And this means that if you're trying to go live on YouTube or another platform in 4K 24 or up to 60, you can do that with this system. This is very cool to see that I can just copy and paste my YouTube live streaming code into the app and go completely handheld if I wanted to on that crazy camera rig and instantly be live streaming on YouTube. But for me, I primarily live in the first 2 categories of using this as a director's monitor or as a first AC. And when it comes to monitoring, the biggest thing here, in my opinion, is getting a high quality image. The non-technical people on set want to see a close representation to what the final output is going to look like. If I'm DPing on a set and I'm handing this monitor to the director, they want to see their vision kind of in front of them. Even though we know that a lot of it happens after the color grades and post work, no, they want to see as close of a representation on that monitor as possible. If you're looking for a director's monitor like this, you're going to be hard pressed to find a 4K native resolution monitor anyway. Yes, you could always use like some cheap 4K TV if you wanted to. And while there were a few budget options that I found with some sort of 4K native display, the majority of them were like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, like this one from Small HD. Most monitors that I see out there, especially in the budget world, have native 1080p screens, but they're really good 1080p screens. And I've been really happy with this 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙 one. And so to get the most out of the resolution that you have, Accsoon actually allows you to adjust the bitrate on the transmission system to give you a better image if you want to. Now, I don't exactly know what bitrate numbers they translate to, but they have a scale from 1 to 12, 1 being the worst, 12 being the highest. Out of the box, the default setting is 9, which already looked pretty good in my opinion, but since I work in a lot of lesser congested areas and the transmission system isn't too far, I've gone ahead and maxed it out to 12 just because I want the best image that I possibly can see. Now, if you go down to the 1 bitrate level setting, that's definitely where you'll start to see that kind of more blocky areas. And I'd really only go down to this if you were having major issues with either distance or just latency or something like that. The other benefit to using the C app through either a phone or a crazy iPad setup like mine is because it gives you all the great monitoring features that you'd be accustomed to from a regular camera monitor. You can see focus peaking, zebras, you can actually apply LUTs, which actually can help if you're using this for live streaming or like a webcam. Now here's another reason that I'm okay with just having a 1080p signal, and that's as a first AC, someone who's pulling focus. Because while Accsoon does boast about their sub 25 millisecond latency numbers, that is only true if you're outputting in 1080p. If you're going that 4K 60, you're going to experience a various increase in latency. Now for someone like me, I still don't think it's bad at all. And just from the basic unscientific tests of like moving a subject in and out of frame, looking at the monitor versus looking what's happening in real life, the lower latency on this thing is incredible. And I've only really mentioned the SDI and HDMI, which by the way, it does have 2 HDMI ports on the transmission, so you can loop out to another monitor that you may have on camera. But this is also the first transmission system that I've seen that has a dedicated USB-C video out feature as well. And that's how my whole setup over there is working. And I just think it's awesome, the fact that you can essentially hardline in a iPhone or iPad. I made a video a number of weeks back when Blackmagic came out with their wireless using the Blackmagic camera app as a remote monitor for your Pixis. But the biggest issue there was latency, and I talked about it would be so nice to just have a hardlined version that has basically no latency to it. And although this does add a piece of hardware as the middleman, if you want an experience like that to use your phone or iPad as a monitor, this is the way to do it via that USB-C video out port. And it also does seem to supply power to the iOS device, so it will charge your phone or whatever at the same time as well. There's so many details about this wireless transmission system that I really like, from the build quality to its full color display, that just the menus are so easy to glide through. You have the physical buttons. For a sub $1,000 system, this feels like the most advanced and in a lot of ways most overkill system to have. The tri-band technology, the 1.5 mile distance between the transmitter and receiver, all these different features that you may never need to reach those caps is really nice to have, because it just is going to make it a even more reliable system when you are working in much more less intense scenarios and environments than what you need. And when it comes to the hardware of transmission here, this is where honestly my only con of this device is, which is the fact that I'm shooting on a Pixis right now, and a lot of cinema cameras are SDI only. And unfortunately, Accsoon put a 3G SDI instead of a 12G SDI, because 3G SDI only outputs 1080p, unfortunately. 12G would have gotten us that 4K 60, which I thought would have made sense, but instead you'll have to go through the HDMI port in order to get that 4K 60 output. The only other con that I've really had is a little bit more minimal, and that's just the fact that this only has a single quarter 20 on the bottom, which most transmitters do, but a lot of them come with like almost like an L bracket that allows me to mount the transmitter on the side of the camera a little less awkwardly, because now I have to like magic arm from the bottom. I wish there was another quarter 20 or something kind of near where the fan is on the front facing side that I could easily just attach this to the side of the camera. I'm sure I can find some accessory or adapter that helps me do that. If your setup includes a V-mount adapter, they did just come out with this bracket that allows you to sit it in between and kind of sandwich it between your camera and a V-mount battery. So if you're like a Komodo user or anything like that, yeah, when it's all said and done, this is one of those pieces of gear that has really felt like it's just gotten out of my way. It's got just enough kind of manual settings that I can get in there and adjust things like the bit rate if I want to have an effect on quality, but most of the features are automated, all in a well-constructed, well-designed housing that I just really like looking at. As always, I'd love to hear what you guys think about it down in the comments below. If you want to learn more about it, check it out for yourselves in the link in the description. Huge shout out to Accsoon for sending the unit out and for sponsoring this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.